Instead of hanging out on the playground, some kids are in New Hampshire spending their playtime on the campaign trail. With the primary tomorrow, kids are all over the state are joining their families in canvassing for presidential candidates. Our reporter Lilia Wood is in New Hampshire ahead of the state's primaries to tell us how kids and parents are trying to make their voices heard this election cycle.
They're small but mighty.
Put that as a claim in school about how kids should be able to vote.
And they're some of the loudest voices on the campaign trail.
Andrew Yang, Elizabeth Warren, Joe Biden, Amy Klobuchar, Pete Buttigieg.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
His dad's a Bernie supporter.
Rebecca Rajchak brings her 4-year-old son Ridian canvassing door to door.
It's important to show that you're invested in whatever that looks like. For us, it looks like getting up at 6:30 in the morning with a 4-year-old from Brooklyn saying, like, this election matters, our candidate matters.
Young families traveled up and down New Hampshire to go to all these different political events this weekend, but the parents want to make one thing clear. They're not trying to push a political agenda, but rather they want to show their kids that you can be politically active at a young age.
One of the things we hope by taking them to some of these events to see people in person is to give them the opportunity to hear what they're saying and then ask us questions in real time. So I think hopefully tomorrow or today they'll learn a little bit more than they have in the past.
The kids may not be able to vote, but they want their voices heard.
Climate change.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting too. I think an issue is like people losing jobs over AI and stuff.
Why do you think the climate is important?
Because it's the climate. Because it can do damage to certain places.
But why not step up and run for the White House someday?
I don't want to be a president, but I know what I want to be.
What do you want to be?
An 80s rock artist.
Reporting from New Hampshire, I'm Lilia Wood.
Not only is the New Hampshire primary bringing in kids, CitrusTV Gabrielle Caracciolo found out how people from all over the country come to New Hampshire to get a close look at the politicians before major decisions are made.
Hello, Concord!
Hello, Keene, how are you?
The events of primary season are nothing new for New Hampshire residents.
Good to be back. You know, you're back enough. It feels like family.
Presidential candidates host events in gyms like this one all across the state of the nation's first primary. But for people who don't live in an early voting state, there aren't as many options to see candidates in person unless they travel.
There's only one moment when you actually get to see all of these people close up when the decisions are still being made.
Some people travel to go to work for their favorite candidate, while others are still deciding who to work for.
We also want our boys to sort of experience seeing all the different candidates, and we want to learn about them more for ourselves.
Most people we talked to were from states in the Northeast that hold their primaries later, when more candidates have dropped out of the race.
It's not that far, and by the time this process gets to Massachusetts, it's not quite as impactful, right? So New Hampshire's special.
Not too many candidates come to Providence, Rhode Island.
Would they do it again?
I would go to South Carolina. Nevada, I think, is too far. I'm planning to do Maryland with him because we have family there.
I've already told my boss that I'll probably be taking some time off in the fall to support whoever the Democratic candidate is, wherever they need me to go.
Reporting in New Hampshire, I'm Gabrielle Caracciolo.